when you know some tricks in Photoshop, you can save a lot of time. In today's example, we're going to change the color of this girl's earrings to match her sweater. Now we're going to do that with an adjustment layer, and the adjustment layer is going to be hue and saturation. Now there's lots of ways to open up an adjustment layer, but in this case I think I'll just go over to this half black and half white circle. I'll click on it, and it scroll down, and there's hue and saturation. Okay, when we clicked on that and brought up the properties panel, that kind of filled out with the all the properties we need, and it added a layer called hue and saturation with a layer mask. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over here and click on the eyedropper. Whoops, we can't click on the eyedropper because we have to change the word master to something else. I'm going to pick cyan because those earrings are pretty close to cyan. I'm going to click on cyan. Now we can click on the eyedropper, and this will give us the exact color that I click on. I think I'm going to click on this color right here. Now if it's not cyan, this will move just a little bit and put us right on the money. So that's the color we're talking to right here. The top of this is like a before, and the bottom is like an after. Now I notice when I practice this that if I take this hue slider and move it up to around 120, see the color changing? It's going through blue. As I get closer to around 120, now you can kind of stop wherever you think is right. There's 118, that's pretty close. If you want to move this one at a time, just click on it and use the up arrow. You notice it just changes one digit at a time. Okay, so 120 might be the right hue, but it might not be the right brightness for what you like. You might like it just like that. Either way, if you want to make it brighter, you can pull this to the right, and you notice that the earrings get brighter. They get so bright we can turn them white. If you pull it, the lightness slider to the left, they can get so dark we can make them black. So anyway, we'll pick a color that looks pretty good, maybe like right in there. Maybe a little brighter. That would be for you to decide. Now, you might be saying to yourself, okay Mike, you changed the color of the earrings, but you might have changed colors of other things in this photo too. Maybe there's something else that got changed. Well, if we turn this layer on and off, I don't really see anything. But for the people who like to worry about this sort of thing, let's relieve that worry by clicking on the layer mask. I'm going to click on the layer mask. Okay, so now it's selected because I clicked it on it. And I'm going to hit Control I for invert. I just inverted the layer mask to black. Now when a layer mask is black, this layer doesn't do anything. In other words, look, it reverted back to the original color. Now what I'm going to do is hit B for brush. I'm going to get a brush over here, and I want a white brush, which it is. That's good. And I'm going to go up to opacity. It's already set for 100%. And watch this. I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to paint over just the earrings. So the only thing in this photo that's going to be affected are these earrings. I got that side, and now I'm going to do this side. So now I know that only the earrings have been affected. Now we did that pretty quick, and we did not have to make a selection. Okay, that worked pretty good. Now let's try something else. What do you say we try to make the background color match those original color of the earrings, which was kind of cyan. So what we're going to do is go over to the layers panel. Here's the layers panel. We're going to go down to the bottom, and there's a little, the history panel, history panel, and we're going to go down to the bottom, and there's a little camera. See this little camera right here? I'm going to click on that. And what that does is it makes a snapshot. See, it says snapshot 1. So that kind of remembers what we did. Now let's take this layer and delete it. That puts us back where we started from. Now we're going to try the tough job of making this background match the earrings. Whoa. Now you know with this flyaway hair that can be a real pain to do. But let's see. Using this technique, let's see what happens. So remember what we did? We went over here to hue and saturation. We clicked on that half white, half black circle. We went down to hue and saturation. It brought up another layer, filled out the properties panel. Now, in this case, we want to change the color of the yellow, right? We want to make this that cyan color. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to master, because remember we can't pick that yellow because the eyedropper won't let us click on it yet. But if I change this to any color, I'm going to pick yellow because that's kind of what we're going to be working with. Well, it is what we're going to be working with. Now I can click on the eyedropper. Okay. Now this is yellow that it picked. Let's see if it changes. When I click here, oh, it did move to the left a little bit. So now we're only talking to this color here. Now what do we want to do? We want to change that color to blue. So we're going to take the hue and we're going to move it this way, green, 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 and there is the blue. And I'm going to just kind of keep tweaking this until I think I got that blue to match. That blue pretty much matches those earrings. Oh good, we're in good shape. Now we did our job. We got the blue earrings to match the background, or the background to match the blue earrings. Oh, did you notice that her face turned green though? Maybe that's not so good. So we're going to have to do what we did before. Do you remember what we did? We went over to the layer mask, we clicked on it, and we hit Control I to invert the layer mask. Now you could paint it with black, but it's just a lot quicker. Just hit Control I. On a Mac that would be Command I, and now it's a black layer mask. And remember, a black layer mask means this layer doesn't do anything. It kind of hides it all out. What we want to do is paint with white. So we have to go over and get a brush. I'm going to tap the letter B. There, I got a brush, a white one at 100%. So just like before, I'm going to make it a little bigger. I'm going to hit the right bracket key, and I'm going to paint over this. Now luckily in this particular photo the hair is black, so black is like no color, there's nothing there. So when we put blue on top of black, guess what? It doesn't change much. So I painted over that side. Now I'm going to paint over this side, see what we get here. I'm painting some of the hair. I'm being a little sloppy, not real neat. I think I got all the background, and I think it matches up pretty good. Now you may say, how good do those flyaway hair look? Well, let's zoom in and see what they look like. I'll hit the Z key for the zoom, and what do you want to look? Right here is a good spot. I'll zoom in here. Now what we're looking for, do we still see all the hairs? Let me hit the tab key, that'll hide the other stuff. Look, the hairs are there, and there's no halos around them. They look pretty darn good. They look great to me, actually. So hit the tab key again and brings all the stuff back. Now before we finish up, let's also make a snapshot of this version. So I'm going to go over to the history panel, and I'm going to click on the camera. Now I got two snapshots, snapshot 1, snapshot 2. So let's see what snapshot. Well, let's look at the original. I just click on the first one. That's what we started with. Then we changed the color of the earrings to match her sweater, and then the last one we changed the color of the background to match her earrings. We did all this without having to make a selection. This lesson is quite easy, and I hope this lesson can save you some time, and thanks for watching.